And the moon don't talk to me anymore. And starlings swing on the skeletons in a cage, pecking at the fat and the meat and the seed. Through my dirty window, the cherry blossom was always plastic, bought from a fiver from downtown Chinatown. And the moon don't talk to us anymore. And the moon don't talk to me anymore. And my white tablecloth is stained with coffee, which came from a country already in flame, and the moon don't talk to us anymore. She is rising fat and full and furious with a grief, a morning that washes up with the tide after tide, and the tide that rises with the moon, the salt water crashing to the shore, and the moon won't talk to me anymore. And the night is dead and the dark is long, and the rain pours down like the sky's all a river. And the moon don't sing, and the moon won't sing, and the moon don't sing. And the fear spreads and rises and seeps into everything, like a bad smell, like smoke under the door. And the moon don't talk to you anymore, and the moon don't talk to me anymore. You have memories of sleeping in your clothes like a bad dog on the floor. Are these memories or premonitions? You just don't know anymore, because the moon don't talk to you anymore. And the moon hangs heavy, and the sun has turned his back, and all I see is his coat of clouds, and the rain washes decency away. But the sound of the washing machine is a comfort. It's like the sound of the sea from what you remember. From a postcard someone sent you from before, remember? It was stuck on your fridge door. It said, "I wish you were here." And I do. I wish you were here. Because the moon don't talk to us anymore. And the fridge feels safe, so we stock it up good. They say it's safer to get a delivery of groceries. You hope the delivery man washed his hand, cleaned his van, sanitized his face, and has no next of kin. And we buzz on the internet like bees. Oh, we are the lucky ones, aren't we? Hiding at home, locked in our houses, wearing pajamas, boosting the heating. Try not to think of the poor or the elderly, those that aren't safe and those that aren't eating. Think of the food banks, the people in cages, all ages, the kids that needed that one free school meal. Things got real, and all the folk who cannot afford the extra and the bills, the extra food, unpaid time off work, and the extra pills, and the moon ain't shining anymore. Her milky face is clotted with uncertainty, and the gods are all stone cold silent today. The blue sky is a box set you binge in a heat wave, and the hope is at the bottom of a well. There's a hole in my bucket, but I keep turning the handle. Because this too will pass, and nothing is forever. And all pigs are equal, but some pigs are more equal than others, speeding off to private jets, to bunkers, and leaving their brothers when they all voted for this mess and more. And the moon won't talk to them anymore, and the moon don't talk to them anymore. And well, we all didn't picture it this way. Hiding at home, making jokes about stockpiling loo rolls and people licking toilet seats. Until you're the last tweet on Twitter. You retweet yourself, yeah? You hum along to an empty fridge. You talk to the washing machine because its face is as round as the moon. Like a dog, you sleep on the floor. Because the moon don't laugh anymore. Because the moon don't talk to me anymore.
Persian rugs. Where does the day start? Is it with a scurry of street cats, at the first press of bare feet, or in the mouth of the morning smoker? There is never an empty street in Cairo. Who can say? Is it me or you? Bikya, 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 Bikya. Here his haulers, between the wails of bleating cars, this young boy calls out for passable things, to stack and then sell off the back of his short truck. A house worth of moving objects behind him, and me watching from the balcony, wanting him to carry me along to the ends of the street market. Is a day first imagined in the clotted veins of this street market? This moment, this space, a mound of sounds and images, bodies, 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 a beaded seam of bodies, woven skirts, big drums of untoasted spices. The street cat rakes its claws down the spine of a Persian rug. I'm spotted by a man roasting corn over a naked flame on the same wooden cart that has been here for millenniums. Time here is a long, sweet stretch of soft molasses, being strung and pulled and strung once again over a metal hook in the wall 3 stalls down. Come and stand for a while. How many and how dark? 4 ears are for 10, but yours only 8, and you could come back to buy from me again. How long will those hands continue to turn, spinning slowly under this thick film of heat between us? Chips of ash scatter into the street cracks as he fans off the smoke that breathes life into his day. Up in this grey flume is the start of his morning. Everyone here, with their own mornings, drifting things, coming to stand at the stalls, forming incredible patterns, heavy textiles of 1,000 different daybreaks. Could I pocket this image, weave it still with thin strands of sunlight that could warm my hands when I move through this new market's frost? Can't the morning promise to stay just as it is? Wait till I come back.
Robin. So here I hop, A body made from biro squiggles, goosebumps, and static hairs. Ambiently absent, I stop idly on the wall near breadcrumb fall, calling to nothingness. As light dims, hopping subsides. No crumbs today, she mouths from a window opposite. Smoking, she extends her tongue, tasting evening, unladen by rush hour cries of children in after-school clubs. Still, melancholy inveigles its way behind her eyes, humming. Her sinuses burning 6 a.m. buses, slouching by, ferrying no one nowhere. Bus stops, empty lots, the clock face a forgotten remnant of excess, but from time to time she tastes those ticks on her tongue, down her throat, in her lungs. Black, speckled plastic pieces with waffle sole patterns, trodden into near oblivion. She returns to find me, pecking away at gum stuck firmly to bus stop. According to sources, her bones were brittle, delicate emotions swathed by bloodied hands and feet. It happened on our street, under lens of day, beneath cold rays and the male gaze. They danced together, under supervision of scouring sky and passers-by, donning half smirks and vacant looks as he lay purple petals against her skin, his stocky body bowering her feminized frame. First the temple, rouging soft flesh of cheek, the nape of neck, before she grew weak. Witnesses tell of how she fell so quickly, like that detracts from the violence, when really she was blown out of existence in the blink of an eye, let die, surrounded by strangers and blue-coated street rangers. So once more into obscurity another is passed, long after the die was formally cast.
The sound of silence. The sound of silence, excruciatingly loud, deafening those who still remember that lilting walk, carefree talk, charming twinkle of askance glance, poignant dignity of stance, carrying her subtle style, an infectious smile, generous with her laughter, as it now echoes in the sound of silence. So beautiful, so young, long, thick, shiny hair, oiled with care, to waste, can still taste blood in air, gushing from her throat, slashed rare, punctuating flashes, pierced those nearby, as visiting nightmares were hid under a silent shroud, never uttered aloud. She fought valiantly as he grabbed her waist down as she tried to break free, found she could not, while he violated her every orifice triumphantly. She was now his. She ran as torn, bloodied scraps fell, as she tripped That sharp, sharp glint was held against her neck, used with a deliberate intent. She never stopped her screams until they finally died with her. His father, her father's brother, her chacha to bhai, own family and kin, why reveal the shame and sin? Family ranks closed in. Her mother wept till her heart bled and begged when the police came to break it down, the wall of silence. In the bedroom, her mother's plea to her husband that her daughter would not sacrifice her right to justice in death. It was not to be. Preserving face, allowing vicious violation, murder and rape to escape into the sound of silence.
I worry that when you become a toddler, the house will represent everything that isn't who I am and what I stand for. Napkins occupying the wash line, toys of varying significance and forgotten nooks, and the smell of baby permeates every surface. Everything I own will surrender to your existence. Corners of kitchen cabinets will be made blunt. Bathroom mats must be non-slip. I must prevent your dying to achieve my terminal role as a good mother. And when you feel like it, we will go to Tupperware parties and potlucks of mediocre mashed potatoes made by other women and their mothers who told us to bear children. And now, when it is too late, when saliva leaks from your mouth, the aunties will gather. They will cackle at my motherhood and utter the words, "I never said it would be easy." Nothing about you is easy.
The next time you ask me where I'm going, please recall that I am 3 parts indecision and 1 part reckless abandon. That I've seldom bothered to look back at the wreckage I've left in my wake and will never be bothered to master the flames at my fingertips anyways. I am not your poem. I was never your brushstroke. I am not your tragedy or your failed attempts to find meaning. I was never an answer to a question, so when you ask me, like dawn, if I will rise to your occasion, do not be disappointed when I reply with the dusk. That is all I've ever known. You tell me to take a seat here, on this pedestal that you have carefully constructed only to pull the wooden legs out from beneath my body when my mouth no longer forms the words of your choosing. You tell me to radiate, how to glow beneath the lights and force my chest to rise and fall as my voice rises, then crawls to the rhythm of an audience. You tell me to perform for you, to turn my feeling into theater, tear open my chest to inspire, fill all the cracks in my voice with cement because bold women must hide all their human. And I show you all the ocean in my intentions, all the untamed tides beneath my tongue that will swallow you before you ever attempt to master them, all the floodwater that will find its way into your microphone, short-circuit the wiring, burn out the stage lights, and tell you to go home. Our hearts are Aborted, an echoing chorus of beings too loud to be shaken by the dark. A song bottled in the unbreakable glass of a new world where power does not mean violence and violence does not force us to run from our skin. My mother's bravery is Aborted, passed down through generations of women who have worn too much patience in their braided hair, on their callus-covered hands, on their exhausted feet. A battle cry that casts away our haunted nights and frees us from the ghosts of trauma at daybreak. My body is Aborted, a sweet psalm I am still learning how to chant, off-key and flawed at times, but sung loud in the face of power that cannot force me to disappear. Because even if I run out of words, even if I lose my train of thought, even if I tell you the truth only to lose my breath, I am surrounded by women who will pick up where I left off.
Aborted. My pen freezes. with ink pressing longhand on crisp, thick page. Thoughts, sieved through mindful edits, could bring death or its shadow hovering. Words escape, revealing my truths. Will it be that I am teleported to a faraway land where I have no wish to be, exhausted, a struggling migrant community, rebuilding fragments of a life? Through boats, containers, ports, high seas, jetties, danger, camps, bureaucracies, shoved, cordoned, isolated, interrogated, frozen, battered, near drowned, embattled, refused, denied entry and movement, seeking refuge, beggars of abode. Or just walk in via that coveted red or blue passport, an immigrant, bearing disintegrated dignities, truncated memories, castrated histories. Pouring my potency and strength to this new land where I am pitied, despised, justified, leaving the old betrothed to vultures. As I metamorphose into a statistic, I start anew, or stay and stand for ideals in a battle, perhaps already lost.
Everybody wants to talk about the rape. Everybody wants to talk about how my sari was untied over and over and over again as gods and kings watched lustfully while my body became the tapestry of a failed lineage. 5 hopeless sons lost in battle, 5 lousy husbands lost at a game of dice. Just plain bad luck that I became the inspiration for every Tamil movie sex scene. The poster girl for polygamy. Prostitution is permissible if a whore mimics my dressing. Sharing sex is acceptable if my name is uttered as an example. Just as my wrath is equated to a temperamental storm, I am remembered for all the wrong reasons. because you forget the core of my identity. Before I am goddess, queen, daughter-in-law, common wife, or the raft that saved the drowning Pandavas, I am what you refuse to acknowledge. A woman. But a woman is not a woman until something happens to her, and you want to know what happened to me. Draupadi. Choices. Dharma, karma, whatever you call it, it began with bad choices. In my past life, I was born a queen, successful but single. I was destined to be an unmarried beauty. I prayed to Lord Shiva for a man of 5 elements. He had to be strong, skilled, handsome, honest, and knowledgeable. Shiva laughed. No one man could have all 5 qualities, he said, so he promised me 5 men in my next life, as if one was not enough for me to carry. Now, I'm not saying that men are unnecessary. How can I deny the required essence of conception? I would be a vessel without purpose or direction. So I waited a lifetime for him to arrive, and when he did, it was a competition of disappointment. Men came from east, west, north, and south, made a beeline for my hand, but my heart was set on one and my mind set on another. Karna was my first love, but was of low birth. He was cast aside by my ego, which had been pierced by Arjuna's arrow, who took me home to his mother Kunti and shouted from the front door, "Amma, look what I won in the archery competition." But she did not have the decency to step out of the kitchen. "Whatever it is, share it with your brothers," she said, and that is how I became the present of polyandry, wife of the 5 Pandavas. Till they traded me as a prize with a price for their fragile pride in a game of dice, where the ancient law dictates that being a wife of more than 4, I am now public property.
After the storm, silver trees lunge over a river, tugging a silent highway of twigs and insects seaward. The moon flashes through gaps in the branches, and the weathered frills of fungi adorn the trunks. I peel colourless leaves from my boots and glimpse a boat tucked inside the riverbank. Tender reeds grip its underbelly as ghosts in orange hoist it landwards. Sea trees. Roots rebel against the ebb. The trees are still up to their necks in water. Last night another name bucketed through the town. At the cafe, the window was a seascape. Usually there's a green field just here. Toy boats muttered. It's only 25 feet above the sea, and if it's as bad as they say, of course, we'll be dead by then. I hope that these sea trees, swathed in dark waters, wake them up. Frame and flux. Watch my arms weave across the screen in search of another ridge. Spring onto the harbour wall and run above the mechanical grey waves. On the sand, heads are hooked, pointing beyond the frame. And I remember the gannets, 100 white needles hemming the horizon.
You cussing as the wind coats the speaker with cotton splashes. Wings beat me up the cliff over the flattened grasses. Your film still rolling across a faint and fraying land.
Pink moon. The night is still as April's pink moon rises. In his hot and fevered bed, the powerful and wealthy man, how he believes he sees an angel walking in the soft shoes of a nurse. She holds his life in her tired hands. She works so hard and for so little. She will fill his cup with water. Below the hospital window, moonlight washes the city, and the Thames shimmers in the shadow of Westminster. A homeless teenager shivers with no home to be safe in. But it is in that moment, as he watches her pour water, no longer blind to angels, he'll know the damp fear of sickness as the moon shines bold. How the angel is the nurse, and the hospital is a church. How everything is nothing, and money is nowhere, and your love is here, and your heart is now, and life is a debt you pay back in kind, and your soul is like a wide, hungry mouth, screaming, "Feed me the truth." Now do you see why? The first lesson a disaster teaches us is how fragile this is, and how everything is connected. How we are all one, blood and air, water and bone, with the same supermoon, water and bone, blood and air. How we are all one, how everything is connected, is how fragile this is, and disaster teaches us the first lesson. Now do you see why? Screaming, "Feed me the truth," is like a wide, hungry mouth you pay in kind, and your soul and your heart is now, and life is a debt, money is nowhere, and your love is here. How everything is nothing, and the hospital is a church. How the angel is a nurse, as the moon shines bold. He'll know the damp fear of sickness, no longer blind to angels, as he watches her pour water. And it is in that moment, with no home to be safe in, a homeless teenager shivers in the shadow of Westminster, and the Thames shimmers, moonlight washes the city below the hospital window. She will fill his cup with water. She works so hard and for so little. She holds his life in her tired hands, walking in the soft shoes of a nurse. How he believes he sees an angel, the powerful and wealthy man, in his hot and fevered bed. As April's pink moon rises, the night is still.